Hey traders, Brian here with a new video. It's been a while since I put a video out. We've just got so many projects going on. Time is very precious. All right, so this video here is for the non-markers template for Optimus version 5. Again, the non-markers template for Optimus version 5. So I'd like to thank a couple of the contributors in the room that have pushed some indicators, some scripting. Nikki and Danto. Appreciate all the info, feedback to help shape Optimus version 5 to where it is right now. So there is no PDF accompanying this video. I just don't have the time right now. Sorry about that. They're forthcoming. I just don't know when I'm going to get a chance to put those PDFs out. It's probably going to be a month from now, or maybe a little bit longer. So, but I will give you enough info in this video so that you can press forward. I'll show you what to focus on and what's crucial and key in this template. So let's get right into it. All right, so you'll notice here that this version has the Trend Magic channels. That's what this is, Trend Magic channels. That's all it is. We have the newly updated B4 V3 U1 adjustment. That's what's in the lower pane. I'll talk through the settings for all of these here as we go through the video. And so that's all these lines are, is the Trend Magic channels, and the colored bars are courtesy of the ADX VMA Plus indicator. And I've got these color bars set where they closely replicate how I code the markers version. So it's pretty neat how they do it. I'll talk through that as we move through. So let's dive right into it. I'm going to talk about the indicators first, what to watch for, and then we'll cover the color bars. All right, so let's go right into it. The baseline calculation is off of this Trend Magic TS mod indicator. All right, the only thing changed is the ATR multiplier, which is 3.6. So everybody that's part of the room knows I'm a fan of 369. Tesla's Vortex math and all the good stuff he's produced. So everything I try to do has a digital root of 3, 6, or 9. All right, so that's the baseline. Now all of these other lines are produced by using derivatives from using the moving average envelopes. It's pretty neat. So the envelope percentages are up here for the lines. You can see this is the upper and lower. I have these deselected, these two black lines here. I don't really need them. You may want to keep those on there or deselect them, that's fine. So the next line is the 0.0625. It's the red and green. So it's this line and this line. And again, I keep these on here because this is the baseline of my channel. So the center point, the red, and the green, those are the baselines for me. I just prefer to see those. All right, and then the final one is the 0.125, and that's the darker red, darker green boundaries. So again, you have all those. You can play with them. You can deselect them. You can create your own channels. You have the logic now, so you just adjust the envelope percentages up there, and you can arrive at what you want. You can adjust the baseline for this. You have the logic to build anything that you want out of that. All right, so that's how the Trend Magic channel lines work and are calculated. All right, so now let's go down to the B4 V3. Let's talk about that. Now, I am trying, and I'm getting very close to matching the entry chart with the higher time frame. So a lot of you may only have one screen where you can watch one thing at a time, and that's perfectly fine. So if you've only got one screen and you can watch one thing on the NASDAQ. This is, in my opinion, this is, if you're a scalper, this is where you could really make your money. This new tweak here, the new settings on the B4 V3, 5, 22, 72, 89, and 1 closely replicate the B4 V3 on the higher time frame. So this is all a lot of work we're doing on our automated systems, which may or may not eventually work, but I'm getting a lot of good research nuggets out of those things. And I'm going to show you what's important to watch on all this here in just a minute. But this, the reason these settings have been adjusted is to reflect where the highest probability trades are, and it works. It's working pretty good. So we'll start incorporating that. I will in my trading next week. I've been watching this for a couple of weeks now while I've been trading before I made the change off on other charts, and I really like it. So anyway, new setups. This is how I have everything configured. I'll scroll down, nothing else under the sheets here. That's it. It's basically it for the B4 V3. Now for the color bars, it's the AMA ADX VMA plus indicator. Okay, so settings for that are 9, 15, 34. All right, so that's really it for that. I've got the plot deselected. I have the show trend colors deselected. I just have show paint bars. That's all I want to see. Because if you check this and this, then it's going to plot the ADX VMA line. And I have enough lines on this chart. I don't need anything else. I'm just looking for the color bars. So that's how that's set. Now the comma, ever how you want to pronounce that, I have it deselected now. But if you wanted to see that, here are the settings. It's a fast and a slow mode. We'll just apply it here, and there's the fast one. Okay, so you can see you have that to play with as well. I'm going to leave it on there when we close out of this, just to talk through this right here just a little bit. All right, so those are all the indicators. When you download this, let me remove this automatically and then I'll save the template there. Everything else, all the indicators inside of this window can be downloaded inside the room's current indicator channel. So they're all free, and they're either part of NinjaTrader like comma, or they can be downloaded like the B4 V3, the AMA ADX, Trend Magic, and then the bar status, and then of course MA envelopes are part of NinjaTrader. So if you've already got those all loaded up, because you've been in the room a while, this template will load up quickly for you. All right, so let's close it out and talk about this thing quickly about what's important. Okay, the most important aspect of this chart right here, of this template, you know how much of a fan I am of the B4 indicator. It's simply when the B4's MACD is below the midpoint for bearish trades, above the midpoint for bullish trades. Punto. There's nothing else any more important about what sets up a potential trade. I mean, this trade here was a potential top and bottom model trade, and look, it's telling you right there that it may have run its course. So if you want to take a shot, 2 to 3 closes down, go for it. Even though this is in a bullish trend, you don't have to necessarily, this was after a huge run. I mean, look at this monstrous run right here, and it pretty much nails that top move right there. So above the midpoint, and I'm going to focus on one aspect at a time, and that way you can string all these things together, as you go through and do some historical back testing, scanning with your charts. Again, we're above the midpoint here. a monstrous run. I mean, you could take flyers, take positions off of this. If you're above the midpoint, I mean, everybody watching this are smart traders, so you can figure out if you're above the midpoint here on the Trend Magic, you get this is already green. The FST and the trend for the B4 is already flipped to the green side, and you get a move above the midpoint, and the color bars change. Hey, yeah, that's a trade where you can get into. So take a look at the combination of all these things. But now you're above the midpoint. It's what I want to focus on now. You get the pullback. You can take the up closes. Okay, you're below the midpoint here. Again, I'm going to cover some reasons why you'd still be interested in taking this trade. Number one is you don't see a red down arrow. It's still green. The color bars are still, you haven't seen any red bar in this yet. So as long as you're blue, silver, and you don't see red, you don't see a red down arrow, you can still take that trade to the upside. Hope that makes sense. All right, now let's look at some other, again, momentum trade. You flash red here, you're below the midpoint right there, and the FST and trend indicator on the B4 is already flashing red. Separate components, different from this. You're below, you get the red down arrow, you cross below, you get a red bar right here. Yeah, you could take a momentum trade. You could even take this little entry chart John Wick. This is on the 22.4. Okay, you could take that and try to get your, I mean, I'm shooting for like 50 ticks as a minimum. I would have come out on this as a break even. I would have gotten a break even trade on this. Some of you that trade with 5 points would have had an easy 5 on that one. All right, so let's look at this other one. I'm not going to go through this whole chart, but I just want you to understand some of the basic concepts. Okay, so we break above midpoint right here, then we turn green. You get a pullback, you got a red bar. You might want to wait. That's telling you to wait, but look at this. You've got the up arrow, no red. I remember myself, I can't remember if I took this trade. I think I did, and I got a break even. What prompted me on this one for the markers version is the fact that we were high or low. I was watching this on another chart. This was telling me, hey, take the trade, but I think I got a break even right here on it. I think that's what happened. But you see that green up, no red. You fail to sweep the high, but you come back down. It doesn't get back into the red bars here and closes back up. So you can take that. That really should have been an easy 10, 50 tick trade for me. And it was break even. But you see here the power of above the midpoint. Before MACD, above the midpoint. Let me look at some other. Big move up. We get under. We're actually under the channels here. Now, I'm not looking at my top and bottom model. I don't think that would have triggered there. But here we have a classic setup. You got silver bars. You haven't seen red yet, but you've got every indication that you could take a shot to the downside. It's a risky trade because you're still above the midpoint. You got to determine if you want to take these or if you just want to wait for clear signals. I can point out something else. A clear signal here, red, goes back into the center trend magic, the base trend magic line right there, the thick one. You're below the moving average, the midline, and yeah, that's an easy trade. That should have been an easy one. That one, you could have still taken that. I would have waited on these. This one was an easy one. I think this was actually I remember this one. I'm not looking at the, yeah, it was actually a John Wick on the higher time frame. So you had everything on these right here that were telling you could take those trades. Again, it's telling you that right here, hey, this could go higher, but you might want to wait. You get the thrust below the midline. You get the red down triangle. The color bars are silver. You're below the channel here, and you could take that trade. I mean, these are riskier trades above the midline, but you see how well they work and how well this calls those trades right there. So easy trade here to take. You actually probe below, you get the red bars, turns back silver. I'm going to talk about the comma stuff here, but you had confirmation there. You were well below center line here, well below the channel, lower channel boundary, and a nice trade. All right, I think you've got enough about how this works. Now let's talk about a couple of the other things. Talk about the comma. All right, simply a fast and a slow. It can give you confirmation. You don't have to use this. It's kind of neat. It's one of the filters that I like to use in some of my markers work. But you can see here, you get the crossover below. You have, it's double confirmation, red. That's even a pretty good pullback that fits within a shallow pullback, I guess is what I'm trying to say, within the context of the ADX VMA. So you had multiple things converging right here for the down move. Multiple things converging here for the down move. Below, comma below the black. A shallow pullback in the ADX VMA. All right, let's look at this up move. We're above the midline. Bars turn blue, we come back down. It goes from shallow to somewhat deeper, but the bars haven't changed. You've got nothing but green up triangles here, so you can take the up close. All right, I think you have the, here's a quick trade if you wanted to take that. So again, we're above midpoint. Everything turns green. You got green up. Bars turn blue. They come back. There's still silver. You take the up close. Here, show you some really deep pullback. So you get below the midline, turn red. The bars stay silver, which means they haven't hit blue yet. You're not, even though this is green, look, you have a red down triangle. You don't have a green up triangle. This is below midpoint. This is telling you you could still take this to the downside. It's pretty neat how this works. I mean, it really is. Okay, multiple things. Now, this didn't fit within the context of the commas. Okay, so I kind of got off track there, but here's one that fits it. Confirmation, double, triple confirmation, ever how you want to look at it. Commas are bearish, red down triangles, red bars, pull back into silver. We're even below the channels here, so yeah, that gives you the confirmation. So if you're only able to watch one chart, I think this gives you the best chance for risk to reward if you can wait for all of the confirmations to come into line. Yeah, just constant, multiple confirmations from everything. Comma, down triangles, red, below the midpoint. Just pull back after. Yeah, I think I actually got this one of these. I remember taking this trade. Yeah, one of these, maybe even that one right there. So I think I got stopped out of this one and loaded up on that one and this one. I'm trying to get better at holding positions until this is, take the short trade, try to hold until we get back above the midpoint. And it increases your risk, but chances of not getting stopped out come into play a lot more. So anyway, that's how this actually comes into play here. And then you can incorporate the trend magic lines ever how you want to. You could completely delete the trend magic lines and just trade with the comma and the B4. I mean, it's really that simple. But you have all the tools here. You can adjust it and trade it ever how you want to. All right, so this is a little bit longer than I wanted to make, but hopefully without the PDF, hopefully you have enough info that you can upload this and put it to use next week. All right, this is Brian, and I will see you either, if you're in the room, at the opening bell. Just drop me a line if you have any trouble loading this up.